What up, YouTube? So this is Ron again. I'm also have a little buddy with me. Say hi, Carmelo. You see? Say hi to the people. Okay. Ooh, ooh. We got some. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Say hi to the people. So, alright, so I'm making a video on, someone asked me about qualities a nurse manager should have, and I was thinking about making that video anyway. So, in nursing, you come across a lot of different people, a lot of different leadership styles, a lot of different personalities combined with the leadership styles. And I mean, I only been a nurse for like a year and a half, but like my intuition when it comes to good character is pretty good now. Like if you get it's just like when you walk into a room with a patient and you don't get a good vibe or something like that. But let's see. So this first year and a half, I came across quite a few managers. Interviewed with one for a different unit at the last hospital. When nurse managers are covering for different units, if they need to go, if your current manager is doing something. And I came across a few things that I personally want in a nurse manager, and maybe you can add something too. But I think it's important to have a unit that's ran by fear is not going to prosper. So nurse managers can make or break a unit, to be honest. If the leadership is good, the teamwork is going to be the best. If the leadership is weak, it's not going to survive. It's going to be it's going to be an issue with retention, and it's going to be an issue with retaining quality nurses, patient care assistants, social workers, along those lines. But let's see. What I want in a nurse manager is someone that will listen to me instead of thinking of me like, okay, we take care of patients, but if we're working at a hospital, we can be patients too. You don't know what's going on with our mental health or, what's going on in our lives. So I feel like just being open, forming that relationship of trust is important with nurse manager and the nursing staff or the staff of the unit. Also, we are expected to show empathy to our patients, and I feel like we need the same amount of empathy as staff members from our management. I feel like sometimes there might be a disconnect between staff and nurse managers, and some people just don't get it, or they never gonna get it, and it's not even worth saying. What else can I tell you about nurse managers? They're there to be a support system. If something goes down on a unit, they should be one of the main people you go to. If the charge nurse is not supporting you, you should be able to go to your nurse manager. You should be able to feel like you should speak up, being heard. You have a voice on the unit, and I feel like that's important. You can't be afraid to speak up. And if a unit is like that, it's not worth staying. Like, again, it's not worth staying. You look into their eyes and know that you are a valued team member. You know that you can trust them. You know that if anything was to happen, they will have your back. And also, nursing, it can be rough. Certain situations, you might have an error here, or a family member may not like you for some reason, or you make a small mistake that can be blown out of proportion. They need to be there for support, and your documentation backs you up. So you have to get pretty good with that, especially when it comes to summary notes. Also, you want to work for a manager that supports diversity and inclusion and not just trying to meet a quota. I feel like some hospitals, you deal with so much that, you're working as a nurse and then you're trying to deal with how, you're being perceived. I know I struggled a lot in my first position because we would get older Caucasian people on our unit, and I just felt like when I walk in, I got a bad vibe, and that kind of set the mood of my shift. People would think, even if I introduced myself as a nurse, they think I'm the patient care assistant, or, called me the N-word. I struggled. I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin in my last city and institution. I just felt like people, I can see, I try to work on seeing other people's perspective, but like if you can't see mine, that's the issue. And I feel like that too. Being a nurse manager that can see your perspective with a neutral eye, I guess, is the best way to put it. You know, if something is about to change on a unit, please help us understand. Be there for us so we can understand. And if you're just gonna make all these rules on your own, then and not explain yourself, I feel like that doesn't promote trust because you're playing by your own rules. You don't want somebody to be leading you that plays by their own rules. That's how mistakes happen. That's how there's a lot of issues with that. What else? Look at Carmelo. But yeah, I'm pet sitting too, by the way. This guy might be adopted by me. We don't know yet. We'll see. I'll keep you updated. I hope I'm not being repetitive. Let's see. Nurse managers. Let's see. Work with a nurse manager that works with you too, because I noticed a lot of people have families and stuff happens, and you might have to call off because of your children. If someone cannot understand that, that is an issue as well. I don't have children, thank God. But I feel like if you're having a lot of family issues, you should feel okay to go to them and like just express your concerns and just see what can be done. And that ties into the empathy part. Also, if there is some sketchy comments that certain nurse managers make to other staff members, and stuff travels a lot throughout the unit and you try not to get into it, but like that changes your perspective about the person as well. And I know that when you go into a new unit, you need to go with an open mind and judge people on their actions and not by what you hear. Now, if the actions match what you hear, that's bad. That is really bad, especially when it's repetitive and stuff travels throughout the institution. And it's a toxic work environment. You don't want a manager that creates a toxic work environment. You want them to listen, show empathy, be a leader, be a mentor. If you go to them for a problem or something that you were struggling with, they should provide you with the resources to guide you and help you get through it. What else? You know, you don't want a dictator as a leader. You want a strong person of good character that promotes trust among the unit and be honest. I think honesty is a trait that a lot of people take for granted because you say you do something and then you don't do it, or you say you're going to do it and you take so long that it doesn't promote trust. I don't know. This is just me. This is what I came across. This is what, when I floated to different units and when I was like just getting vibes from other managers too. I think it's important to, see different perspectives. If you are able to float, just ask people about their manager. Ask like what qualities they like, what people they came by as managers, or sorry, I can't talk right now. Also, if the nurse manager is not strong, the charge nurses is not gonna be that great either, because like if the nurse manager is doing whatever they wanna do with the unit, the charge nurses will end up doing the same thing. That's not leadership. That's a huge disconnect, because then people play by their own rules and that causes a division within a unit. And that causes problems. The charge nurse and the nurse manager are both pivotal when it comes to the functioning of a unit. The charge nurse help with the staffing, they help make assignments, they try to even it out, and if you don't have a strong leadership or a nurse manager, they play by their own rules and so is the charge nurses gonna. The charge nurses are gonna do the same thing, and I feel like that creates a toxic work environment too. Um, I don't know, guys. Let me know in the comments what you want in a nurse manager. I feel like I was being repetitive. I just know I might have to do a redo. I don't have any of my stuff right now, and it sucks because I knew I wrote down like a thorough one, but this is just free balling. Ooh, that might be a wrong term. Sorry. Freestyle. We'll use freestyle. Ooh, he's up. Look. But yeah, this is what I came by, you know? That diversity and inclusion one is very important though. If you go to a manager to say like, hey, this happened, what are they gonna do? Like, are they gonna support you or are they gonna just let it slide? And especially what policies when you interview for a unit, ask about what policies are in place to protect people of diverse backgrounds and promote inclusion. Because if it's nothing in place when you start, you might have more issues than what you think. That is pivotal when it comes to hospitals and nursing. Because if people still don't get what's going on and they not woke, there's nothing that can change it. If you say you uncomfortable in an area and then like, well, it is diverse, and from you can see their perspective it being that way, but from yours it's not, well, it's time to go. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit blunt, but you know, y'all know me by now. I'm sorry. Actually, well, if it comes off too bad, I apologize. Be a big person, apologize. But yeah, especially when like stuff happens, you know, someone calls you the N-word and it's just like, oh my God, that's like really bad. I can't even imagine being that or being called that. And I'm like, if I've been telling you for months what's been going on, why you didn't listen to me? Whoop, there it is. And you trying to, especially being a minority nurse, you trying to balance between racism and ignorance on a daily basis, especially when you deal with older individuals. It's rough. That's my pizza. But it's rough. I really did struggle with that. That's why it was important for me to move somewhere that I feel like I can walk around and be accepted more than where I was at the last time. And, you know, there are some great institutions out there, you know, in the US, but like if you notice a few red flags, go with your gut. And you want to be somewhere that you feel supported, you feel valued, you're not being judged based on your skin color, sexuality, whatever is in that arena or, you know, circle. I'm sorry. But this is just me. La la la. But yeah, they need to be supported. If someone goes to you and makes you feel uncomfortable, that's not okay. We're nurses. We deal with stressful situations all the time, and having to deal with that on top of it is not okay. And I feel like I struggle with that because a patient will say something and I'll walk out the room, just not say anything. I'm like, let me get you some water, like I didn't hear it. And inside, I just felt stupid for taking care of a person that makes me feel less than what I am. And I know someone can't make you feel a certain way, but when you're giving yourself to people and you dealing with that aspect of it too, and still you try to do the best care as possible because you want to prove them wrong, it's rough. Well, guys, happy Nurses Week. This is what I came across. I'm gonna do a better one a little bit later. I'm sorry. I kind of was just thinking about it and wanted to, you know, speak on what qualities a nurse manager you would want, who you, some people you might come by as nurse managers. And like I said, the nurse manager has a pivotal role on a unit. They can make or break your unit. And if they are not understanding your perspective or what's going on in a unit and makes like excuses to justify their actions, that's not a leader. Take accountability of your actions. If I try to admit when I'm wrong and try to see other people's perspective, but it needs to be balanced, and sometimes it's not. But happy Nurses Week. I wish you all the best. I'm going to be starting my new position on a different unit. I'm going to keep y'all updated a little bit later on a different unit at the end of this month or middle in a few weeks. And I'm excited. I met my manager and she was just so welcoming and warm, and the unit was it's what I needed from my last position. I just felt like I was suffocating, trapped, didn't know where I was going, didn't know if nursing was for me, and I didn't realize how much that impacted me and almost made me quit nursing altogether. But I just want, you deal with certain things and you grow from it. And I grew from my last position a lot. It just wasn't the best place for me to thrive. And I was just surviving and trying to keep my head down because I want to feel advocated for. And if I don't and people don't have my back, I'm not going to speak up because I'm not about to be a target. So this is what I came across when it comes to nurse managers, and I hope you do well in your career. I hope you finishing the semester strong, and I wish you all the best. Happy Nurses Week again, and stay blessed.